Alright guys, welcome back to another ranking Counter-Strike skins video. Previously these have mostly been done in CSGO, but now that I have access to CS2, we're going to be inspecting them in Counter-Strike 2. And with that in mind, just please remember it is a beta, which means some of the skins that might look better or worse compared to how they did in Counter-Strike Go are subject to change. So just please keep that in mind. We're going to have a look through. There's 40 different M4A4 skins if you include the default. We're going to rank them from 40th all the way to 1st. There'll be a couple of interesting texts in there, but I tried to keep it as neutral as possible and sort of give it a general opinion ranking on this one. So if you enjoy it, make sure you hit that like button, hit the subscribe button here, and let's get into it. Now, believe it or not, it's not going to be the default that comes in 40th. It's going to be the mainframe. This is a skin I've never really enjoyed in CSGO, and I think in CS2 it continues to look incredibly mid. A default would be better. And you're going to have a few skins like that, as always, especially because a lot of A4 skins are from like the older periods of CSGO. Then at 39th, we have the Desert Storm. Now, I am an enjoyer of brown skins, however, this one just isn't it. This is factory new 0.6 wear. It's got crazy wear all over it. It's a mix of two browns that aren't that nice. Unfortunately, it's just going to have to come in near the bottom. Then we have the Faded Zeb. Now we have the Faded Zebra, which is honestly kind of similar to the mainframe issue, but my thing here is the wear on it still looks good. I know this is also a 0.06 volt, so really similar to the mainframe, but you can see that the wear on it is, and actually the Desert Storm, the wear is decent. So, not flashy, but it's better. Then we have the Converter coming in at 37th. There's not much to say about the skin. It wears awfully. The color mix isn't that great on it. For a 2018 Inferno collection, I would have liked to see better. And then at 36th, we have the default M4A4. Now, default skins in general look better in CS2. I'm not a fan of all of them, but I think this is definitely better than the 4 skins we've just put below it. And you could always do a budget RMR sticker craft on this, which RMR stickers look crazy at the minute, just to showcase. These were like 30-40 pins before the CS2 came out. You could put those on a default M4A4 and it'll look much better than any of the skins we just shown. And then as we speedrun these mid-tier skins, we have the Jungle Tiger, one of the few green M4A4 options. And again, the wear on the magazine's awful. And it's not much to write home about. Then we have the Zerka, which I can't believe how awful this skin looks for the price. It has to be used for a trade-up, surely, because I can't see how there's any justification to pay £40 for this. Now, the Tornado comes in 33rd, and because I tried to take price out of this and do it purely based on the skin look, but price always has that small influence. This looks very clean. It's a 0.6 float, but it's £700 for factory new in this, and then it drops all the way to a few pound for minimal wear, which means obviously the wear just gets crazy, and it's incredibly rare probably for factory new. And although it's like a cool two-tone, it would be nicer if we saw this in maybe brighter colours in the future. Then we have the Global Offensive, which is by no means a bad skin, but again, it has the wear on it, and I'd say overall, like, it's just a mediocre skin. One of the big things here is when we get into this sort of stage, this is the 32 ranked skin. This all the way to like 24-ish are skins that are like decent, but they're just not that great, and they find themselves in the bottom half of the ranking. Then we have the Battlestar, and I'm mind-blown that this was deemed a red at any point in the game. It looks so much like the control panel A1S, which I think is awful, and it kind of falls into that category. It's just not a great skin. The other strike makes its way in at 30th because it can be a clean skin. Wear in the magazine is always going to be an issue with A4s, but some are worse than others, especially with the wear that comes to the back. This is a 0.3 volt. You can see that it actually works well with some stickers like the old NIP logos, which obviously are a little bit pricey, but it has cool, unique craft potential and is at least clean. I've got the Modern Hunter coming in after this. This is one that just, for me, it doesn't do much, and that's why it's being ranked at 29th. It's I look at it and I think, well, I wouldn't really want to pay any money for that above like £1, £2. It's a mediocre skin. Then we have the Griffin coming in, which is a much more fairly priced skin, but I feel like obviously it had copyrighted artwork before, then they had to change it. They didn't make it contraband like the Howl, and the artwork they replaced it with is just kind of mid. So it finds itself in the bottom half of the ranking. And then it may come as a surprise, but I have the X-Ray coming in immediately after that. Now, the only X-Ray skin in the game that I think is good is the P250. Both the AK and the M4A4 suck in all things when you consider all things, and that's why it's ranked 27th. And then the Polymag actually beats it out for me. This Polymag is 26th ranked for me. It is a clean skin. It's super budget friendly. Obviously, the price will say when you mix a small impact, but it's just a very clean skin that you can do a little bit of craft on, and then you can see the bullets better than you can on the X-Ray. Now, I'm surprised I put the Dark Blossom this high in 25th, but I think it's because it seems like it has an upgrade with CS2's lighting. This is a 0.05 float, and it just seems like the little bits of blue definitely come through stronger than before. I understand this might come a few ranks lower for you guys, but this is one that I think with a nice blue sticker craft could work really well. Then we're going to have the red DD this 2021 Dust 2 collection. Definitely a nicer skin, much better than the likes of the Converter, and we're getting into that near the top half now of the rankings of the A4, so they're going to get good. And then directly above it, we have the A4 Asimov. Now, the wear on this is crazy. It's a 0.32 float. The best you can get the Asimov A4 in is field test it. I think it looks a bit rougher in CS2 compared to how it did in CSGO, but also the like A4 Asimov, when you compare it to the AK and the AWP, isn't as like illustrious and like as sought after, and that's why it doesn't quite crack the top half of the ranking. Then we have the Buzzkill, which could, depending on the where you go for, can add nicely into like a yellow or an orange inventory, but I feel like there's better options for it. This is a decent skin, probably on the borderline of being a good skin, but there's just something about it. I think it's like these areas here that I'm putting the mouse over now, these sort of design features in this middle part just sort of kill the skin a little bit for me. And then what I've always been a big fan of is actually the Urban DD Pat, and it comes in at 21st, so it's so close to being into the top 50% of the A4 skins, and it's because white normally comes with a premium in CSGO. Now obviously there is wear on this. This is a 0.6, so you can see where the wear stands. This is the issue with some of the older skins. Then to kickstart things for the top half of the rankings, we have the Radiation Hazard in 20th, which got a big upgrade coming into CS2. Not big enough to shoot it much higher up the rankings by any means, but it would have probably been in like the bottom 10 before, so it's probably jumped about 10 rankings with this upgrade. Then I put the Royal Paladin. Now I get why some people might put this as maybe a top 10 skin, because there is a good bit of detailing on the gold. Even the magazine has some detailing, but I feel like it's a gold that can very quickly start to look browny, and that's not really what you want for the money you're paying for the skin. The Tooth Fairy then comes in at 18th, and this is a skin I've always liked, but never really been too keen on purchasing myself. And I'm a little disappointed that it looks as washed out as it does in CS2. I was hoping maybe we could have got an upgrade with some color depth, but unfortunately, you can see the cool markings on the mag and stuff, and the design is there, but it just does seem a little bit washed out. And then because it's washed out, I've actually opted to put a magnesium above it, because if you don't know, silver skins in CS2 and like default skins and vanilla skins look insanely nice and get a good shine on it, which you can see here. And then it means if you put budget stickers, not that the face of Nico's probably budget, but if you look at my A4, this is with the North Hollow I did like almost a year ago. RMR Hollows have an upgrade to this sort of like pinky bluey sort of tones. I think for like a $2 craft and a $1 skin, factory new, this is really nice. Like, it hits so many boxes, and that's why it's 17th. Then we have the Daybreak in 16th. I know loads of people have this as their favorite skin in the game, or like at least for A4. I think some updates to CS2 actually means the stat track counter covers some key elements off it on some patterns and stuff, which is a bit of a shame, and it doesn't crack top 10 or close to top 10 because of that. Then we have the Desert of Space, which is always a really nice purple and blue option. I think the purple in general looks much nicer now in CS2. It's sort of, I think that now the purples and the blues are more clearly defined, at least to my eyes here, and that's why it creeps its way into 15th. Now we've got a couple of nice budget options back to back. First up, we have the Spider Lily. Spider Lily has always been deemed one of the best budget options in the game. The blue now gets a nice shine to it. Honestly, just one of those skins where like the design work isn't over the top, but the colors work really well, even more so now in CS2, and it's almost a top 10 skin. And then there's other more sort of budget-friendly counterpart is going to be the Evil Daimyo. I have it coming in 13th. This is a skin I've always been a big fan of. I think when you compare it to the red DD Pat and like the Converter for like budget red skins, it 100% wins. And then we have the Tamakao. I hope I pronounced it correctly. This is from the newest Revolution case. This is a really nice little float on it. This is a skin that obviously it's white, it's blue, it's got the pink. I don't like the anime character on this one. It's not a complete anti-anime character skins, because I do like the likes of the player too. I think this one just doesn't look that great. So although loads of people have this as like a top 3, top 5, even their number 1 M4 because of the colors on it, there's just some elements that ruin it a little bit for me. And that's why it falls short of top 10. Now, another one that I was a little bit disappointed for was the Eye of Horus. I heard this was coming out with the Anubis collection. I got excited. It sounded like it was going to be insane. It had the potential to look insane. And while some of the artwork on it does look cool, you got some bits of gold, this off-white colouring, and then with like the actual colours on the skin, like the reds and the blues and the greens, not really popping that much, means that the £200 to £2,000 you're paying for the skin just isn't justifiable. I feel like we had the potential to have a really insane red A4, and we've been let down a little bit. And when I say red, I mean like red quality, not like red theme. Now, to start our top 10, we have the In Living Color, which I know isn't everyone's favorite skins, but I think end of CSGO, going into CS2, it definitely is worthy of being in this top 10 contention. It's a nice bright skin, there's lots of detailing on it. Because of the color mix, you have a lot of sticker craft potential. And obviously, it just slips into the top 10. I think if the AF4s was slightly better, they'd probably get reversed. But I think it's hard to argue that this isn't worthy of like a top 10 placing. And now an A4 I've continually overlooked in the past, but I'm now appreciating a little bit more, is going to be the Bullet Rain. It slips in ahead of the In Living Color in 9th place. This one has a nice mix of that bluey teal and then the reds coming through, which allows some really unique crafts. Like it pairs with the momentum skins. You can go for like lunar weave gloves with like a slaughter knife to go blue and red and build combos. I kind of like it. The design itself is cool as well, with the clouds and bullets, the Bullet Rain. Nice skin. 9th is a very fitting spot for it. Kind of surprised myself putting the cybersecurity into 8th, but I think it's hard to argue, mainly because it's a clean design. Obviously, a little bit of like text on it across the board, but the colors just slap in CS2. Nice bit of orange, nice bit of red, nice bits of blue. The black and sort of like steely areas look insanely nice. So it doesn't get any further than the top 8. You probably could mix this with a living color in the ranking system as well. But definitely a super nice skin. And then I put in the Dragon King above it. Honestly, man, this is one of the most underrated and forgotten A4 skins out there. Every time I see people discussing what A4s they should go pick up for like a purple inventory, or just A4s that are like well priced in general, because obviously the Dragon King is a solid, like a well priced A4, and it's always just overlooked. It's the 7th best in the game for me. I think it looks insane. The colors work a bit better in CS2 as well. I would like to see more designs like this coming through. And then, believe it or not, the Hoyle is not first place for me. The Hoyle comes in at 6th. I think the only reason a lot of people will continue to put the Hoyle as their best A4, their favorite A4, is because it's contraband and because of the price. Now, if we were doing it based on pricing, obviously I would just list it from most expensive to least expensive, because everyone wants the most expensive option. But looking at it from pure design alone, the Hoyle is still a very nice skin. This isn't going to be a runt like the Fire Serpent, which is god-awful and overrated. Hoyle is a very nice design, 6th place. Could take the argument it could slip into top 5 on the right day. And it is a very nice skin, just falls short of top 5 for me. And it's a shame that the price is crazy. I feel like the comments are going to kill me for it, but the Coalition beats out for me. I think this gold looks really nice. Obviously, you got this mix of like black and gold. Little accents of blue, which is the only thing I'm not too keen on the Coalition. I think without the blue, if that was just full gold, would look crazy. But when I consider like how it looks in-game, how the colors work, and then also pricing, that's why it beats the Howl for me. It sort of wins on all 3 areas. Then we have Poseidon in number 4 from the Gods and Monsters collection. Now, I do really like this collection, and I'm a big fan of this skin. Again, I would have liked to see a little sort of upgrade to it for CS2, at least in the lighting. Thankfully, it's not as washed as it's not really washed at all compared to the Tooth Fairy. The big issue here is that the magazine will get crazy wear regardless. And because the lighting update's not been crazy, this is a skin in 2-3 years time when we get these crazy Source 2 skins coming out, despite its price being high for its rarity and its potential for like upgrades, I think it will start to slip down the rankings. And then I've put Hellfire in number 3, man. Honestly, again, a surprise to me. One that when I see in game often, I kind of just overlook. It's not one that I would recommend a lot in inventory builds, kind of because the price is in that tricky area of, do you want to jump and pay that much for the A4 and budget inventories or not? Or is there other options that are normally better value kind of thing? But it's my 3rd rated one. I think overall the skin looks very nice. The colors work really well together. And you have a nice mix. And it's one that gives a little bit of shine upgrade in CS2 that we're talking about. So yeah, I think it's a very fitting 3rd place. And then love it or hate it, the Neo Noir comes in position number 2. And again, the sort of the factors we're talking about here. 1, like the artwork design. 2, the colors and how they work in CS2, and then the price. Neo Noir wins on all 3 of those. Price obviously being like the least influential out of the ranking system here, but the artwork on it is very nice. The colors that are included on it with the pinks, the teals, and the whites, or like the tealy blue with purples and whites, I think it's just really nice sought after colors look insane, and that's why it's number 2 for me. Which means my number 1 A4 skin in CS2 right now out of all 40 is the Emperor. I adore this skin. The blue and the gold work so well together for color combos. It's honestly, like, it's alongside red, it's probably the best color combo I'd go for. It's going for blue and allowing a little bit of gold to slip through. You can get this and field test it, and it still looks nuts, but with magazine wear. But overall, Crazy nice skin, lots of craft potential, and a very fair price, and that's why it's number 1. And with that being said, I kind of hope something comes out in CS2 that immediately knocks this off, because that's what I was hoping for with the Eye of Horus. Eye of Horus coming out, and I think that's going to take number 1 spot easy. And it failed. So let's see if CS2 and the Source 2 designs can bring anything crazy for the A4s. But outside of that, guys, that's going to be my ranking system. Let me know down below what you thought of it, and like sort of just if you think I've got it horribly wrong. If you can let me know your top 3 favorite A4 skins in the comments down below, that would be very appreciated. Let's get that discussion going, and let's keep it civil, guys. Everyone's got their own personal opinions, and it all matters. Unless you're trying to convince me I'm in Frame's top 3, and then in that case we're having problems. But like I said that, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. We're going to continue doing weekly ranking videos in a minute. So hit that like button if you enjoyed it. Hit the subscribe button if you're around here. I will catch you in the next one. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.